Satnam Aloha. So I hope you have your head above water. That's why I've got this picture here of the ocean, right? This person sinking deep into the ocean. And Neptune, I want to talk about Neptune today. And Neptune is the god of the ocean, right? So it's perfect for a metaphor for unity consciousness, right? Coming back into the all one. That's what we're doing. And it's really interesting, too. You probably know this already. But Chiron just went retrograde today. I'll talk about that later in the video. But we've got Saturn, we got Pluto, we got Jupiter in Neptune. So the major outer planets all in retrograde. So this means that this energy is more powerful right now for us. And it's telling us, go inside, sink down into the ocean. Go deep, deep inside. This is a time for reflection, right? It's a time for healing. Neptune rules healing, in fact. So what's going on with the collective of humanity as we hurl ourselves into this great age of Aquarius, right? The shift of the ages. Well, so Neptune went retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and it's in the shadow of turbulence and the gift of humanity and compassion. So it's also the gate of crisis. And you'll notice crisis also has the term Christ, right? So crisis can turn into Christ consciousness, and compassion is definitely one of the major teachings of Jesus the Christ, right? So we're in a spiritual war, right? We're in a spiritual war. So do you feel the gravity of these times? Maybe it's coming through your dream world, right? That's Neptune. So basically, I just want to talk about the two states of consciousness that are confronting one another right now. Right now, these two states of consciousness. But both states of consciousness are seeking this evolution of humanity, but in different ways or different frequencies. So one state of consciousness, I would call it the parasitic consciousness, wants to take control, wants to, like, I'm going to drive, we're going to drive human evolution and what that looks like, right? We're going to turn ourselves into an augmented human or human plus or superhuman, whatever words they're coming up with. This is transhumanism, right? These are all words meaning subhuman, right? It's not a human plus, it's a subhuman. It's a regression in evolution. So I just want to remind people, the people that got their recorded reading from me, right, or they know human design, that 70% of the world are generator aura types, right? And so generators are transcending this archetype of the slave. Generators have been slaves for thousands and thousands of years, right? They've got that energy source that this parasitic consciousness wants, right? The projectors, like me, the manifestors, and the reflectors don't have that. They're not energy types, but the generators are. So it's really interesting as a projector to witness what's going on in the world. I'm sure other projectors and non-energy types can relate too, right? This is real. I really feel like we're in a generator lesson. So basically the parasitic consciousness wants to make the perfect generator slave, right? So everything that makes us human will be stripped away so that we become more and more efficient slaves, right? That we don't need that compassion and that emotional stuff and empathy. That just gets in the way with our productivity, right? That kind of thinking. And also transcending being a slave to the external world, right? Freedom, right? That's the opposite of slave, is freedom. And that's a big key word. Right now it's connected to the 55th gate, right? And that's going through a huge mutation for 2027. It's freedom. The gift is freedom. So that's one state of consciousness, right? Devoid of all humanity, all compassion, all kindness, all empathy. Then we've got this other state of consciousness, right? And this state of consciousness also wants us to evolve, but it's more of a surrender, right? That's a Neptunian word, surrender to the divine order of things, to the natural evolutionary energy that's carrying us into a whole new species called the Homo sanctus. This is the sacred human, right? So this is transcending thousands and thousands of years of slavery into freedom. So you can imagine our ancestral line right now, right? Because we're in this pivotal time. How excited they must be to witness you, witness me in this great battle. So Homo sanctus is really self-sovereign being. So this means the authority is found within. It's a self-referenced awareness, right? The authority's not out here in the external world. That's the Piscean age. And this is about living from the spirit and not the mind. And this is the solar plexus mutation that I talk about, right, in my webinar. So the ancients also say that when our human technology has reached its very pinnacle, then the solar plexus or self-sensory system will be activated within us. And we're also going to see more and more of the technology that's been hidden from us. It's here, it exists, but it's been hidden from the public. It's going to come into public view. So keep that in mind, right, as you watch what's going on in the world. So when we each finally claim our power, we'll realize that we don't need technology. We don't really need technology. We are the technology. We are the technology. So this is what's evolving inside of us, gestating from the inside out, right? It's already here. We just have to raise our frequency and take control of our energetic space, right? So we've got this parasitic consciousness, and these are the takers in the world. And they give nothing back, right? Nothing in return is given back to humanity. It's all about take, 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 take. So remember that the parasite needs the host to survive. The host doesn't need the parasite to survive, but the parasite needs the host. And have you ever gone on a physical parasite cleanse? Right? The whole idea is not to go in there and destroy and kill the parasite. No, it's to make the environment so healthy and clean that the parasite can't live there anymore. Right? The parasite can't survive. So this is probably terrain theory versus germ theory for all you scientists out there, biologists or whatever, right? Doesn't that make more sense? So to bring it to the spirituality, we need spiritual hygiene, right? To rid ourselves of this parasitic consciousness. Because it's energy, it's in us, right? The beginning, the origins of it is energetic. Everything comes from the energetic realm. So you need to say, this is our line in the sand, right? Choice point. You need to say with authority and conviction, the energy buffet is now closed, right? Taking control of your energetic space, right? So all this parasitic consciousness, a reminder, is coming from the energy field before it manifests in the external. So what's the ideal? Let's look at the ideal energetic space for the parasitic consciousness. Well, low frequency emotions, right? Low frequency emotions, fear, anger, despair, hopelessness, right? What about thoughts now? Well, separating thoughts, right? Of me. No consideration for others. It's all about my needs and what I need. So fearful thoughts, thoughts of lack, thoughts of self-doubt, thoughts of lack of faith in the divine. And then we get the physical body, and this is GMO food, fast food, processed food, drugs, alcohol, sugar, right? All of that stuff. So if you look at the solar plexus or the emotional body, right, in the shadow of turbulence, right? Turbulence, think of turbulent water. It's cloudy, it's mucky, it's in chaos, right? That's turbulence. Well, this is the stirring up of our emotions, right? So those low frequency emotions, fear, anger, right? Despair, depression, hopelessness. That in turn influences our thoughts, right? Influences our thoughts. And then this influences our behavior, right? That's with our physical body. I'm just going to try to stuff this down with my addictions, right? So this is all about our animal self. It's reacting like an animal, right? So this is parasitic consciousness. This is where this lower energy consciousness can take you over, and can basically take a joyride in your vehicle when you're in this state of consciousness. And it's really interesting to read about alcoholics that have blackouts, right? That this means they don't remember what they said or did, right? And other people will say that, right, oh, the alcoholic turns into a completely different person, like really angry, belligerent person, or victim in total self-pity. But basically the personality changes. Well, this is the parasitic consciousness coming into the vehicle and saying, woo, yippee, we're going for a joyride and wreak some havoc, right? That consciousness is trying to come into form. And it's to keep you in the state of turbulence, right? So this is the trigger, right? Turbulence is all about being triggered, right? Being triggered emotionally keeps you off balance, and it completely alters your perception and how you see the world. It is. It's like you're gone, and then this consciousness is inside you, right? So you're batted around like a rag in the washing machine. So you can start to pull yourself out by taking responsibility for what's going on in your mind, what's going on with your body, what's going on with your emotions, what's going on in your energy field, your environment. So one thing that I will say about emotions, right? If you do feel fear, anger, grief, you don't spiritual leapfrog out. That's not the way out. It's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. This turbulence is already inside you. Remember I talked about this in my last video, right? So any trauma that hasn't been integrated from the past comes up, right? So it's not like this parasitic consciousness is creating, right, these high voltage emotions. It's already inside you. What they're doing is manipulating that, right? So that manipulates how you see the world and then how you behave in the world. So this is all about your past, right? So what I'm saying here is, okay, I'm feeling anger, and Michael said I can't stay there, right? Through denial or repression. It's all about working through it by feeling it. It's just like stopping. It's so easy. It's to stop and just do some deep breathing and let it be and feel it until the end. So to purify your emotional body, I mean, that's the best place to go to keep this parasitic consciousness away from your field, right? It's to purify your emotional body. And your emotional body, what's your emotional body? Is your inner child, right? So you learn tools to do this in my inner child program, my 6-week program that I've radically reduced because I want to get as many people in there as possible, right? So this is the work to do so that you can be really, solid in yourself and be here and deliver that soul purpose, right? So the parasites are the takers, right? And if you're not vigilant with your state of consciousness, then you'll be absorbed, right? You'll be absorbed by that parasitic consciousness. We're already seeing it out in the world. So you have to remember who you are, right? You have to remember who you are. A lot of our problems go right back to our identity, right? So you're not a parasite, right? So you have to tell yourself that I'm not a parasite. I don't lack anything. The external world has nothing to offer me of any value or permanence. Okay, it's fun to be here and play, but it really has nothing to offer of permanence because it's not permanent. That's what you have to remind yourself of, right? So the divine, the big G, has given you everything you need. Everything you need. It's all inside you. And I know that sounds like a Hallmark card, but it's true. All the inner resources that you need for your soul purpose, right, are inside you. So when you start to tap into those inner resources, those gifts that you came into the world with, then this out here reflects that back to you. So Neptune shows us where we need to surrender, right? So it's all about dissolving our emotional attachments to the external world. And that includes our relationships too. So the gift here is humanity. And human consciousness is the complete opposite of parasitic consciousness, right? Parasites are takers. They give nothing in return. Humans are givers. This is our natural state. We're givers. To be human is to be compassionate. That's the gift here. It's to be empathetic. It's to be kind. And humans thrive in connection with one another. So to be human is to live from the heart, right? And to be human is to jump out of the darkest, darkest places and situations, to shine your light and to serve your fellow humankind. Not to take, but just to give, right? For the sake of giving. That's true giving. Selfless giving feels so good, right? Why does it feel so good to give like that? Well, it's divine. It's letting us know. The divine's always communicating to us, saying, keep doing this, right? It feels good. Keep doing this. Expand your aura, right? And parasites will run screaming from this energy, right? If you go into this gift of compassion and humanity. And this is what it means to be human. And this is our true nature. And this is why we're so touched when we see something so selfless like this. Do you remember that? I remember that as a kid. If I saw something, humanity glimmering up, right, through a person, through their actions, through their words, it would just touch me so deeply because it's a reminder, oh, this is who we really are. We're not these parasites, right? We're this noble human being. So Neptune in the 36 is saying, let it all in, right? Let it all in. Neptune's going to dissolve everything. You know, you remember when you were a kid and you were learning to dive and you're all afraid and I can't do this, I can't do this. Well, Neptune comes along and dissolves the diving board, right? The diving board's gone and you're in the water, right? So this is what it's saying. Just let everything in. Merge with everything in your life right now and let your heart shatter open, right? Let your heart shatter open. This is our superpower. This is our superpower right here, our hearts. And when our hearts join together in resonance, look out. This world will change and transform in a heartbeat, right? So remember I talked about the inverted world? We can learn a lot about the inverted world. So everything is upside down that we see out there, right? So look at the parasitic consciousness and the orders, right? It's all about to keep you a slave, right? And bring you into this new future of subhuman, right? It's all about stripping away your humanity. So let's learn. Let's learn. Okay, don't sing, right? Don't sing or chant. Well, singing from the heart, that's our humanity. You know, back historically, we used to sing. We used to sing. We used to create, right? Things into existence. This is how we manifested. When we were in our power as humans, right? We would sing together, and this changes the unified field, right? Vibrate the cosmos, and the cosmos will clear the path, right? That's one of the sutras of the Aquarian age. So singing is a great thing to do, right? To break out in song. Let's look at another one. Don't gather together in churches or temples, right? Okay, well, two or more gather in my name, I'll be there. So when people gather to remember their origins, this is the true meaning of religion, is to remember your origin, right? Is to remember that you come from the divine, that you are divine, and you'll return to the divine, right? So the big G, that's your ultimate authority. That's who you listen to, not little g. So you listen to big G through your intuition. And Neptune in retrograde says your intuition's going to get really stronger during this time, right? And then the 6 feet apart thing. Well, this is when we come close together, our auras merge together. You don't end at your skin, right? Your aura extends. 9 feet is a healthy aura. And our auras merge together, we're powerful. And our auras actually communicate with one another, right? So we can inspire one another by just being in each other's space, sitting beside each other, not even having to speak. And the auras are communicating with one another. And then this, right? The face muzzle. Well, this is about placing a barrier in our communication, right? Relationships are just communication. Humans are all about relationships. We're social beings, and that means communication is really important for us. And we communicate not just with our words, not just with our auras, but with our smiles and our faces. And we read each other emotionally. We can read each other through facial clues. You're not taught that. It's just our instinctual nature, right? And it's how we express our uniqueness, right? Each one of us is a unique expression of the divine. So there's just a few things to look at, right? So we can really use this energy, like, oh, I wonder why they're doing that. Oh, that's why, right? So let's be a contagion. Let's all be a contagion. I've got the right angle cross of contagion. That's my incarnation cross. But let's all be a contagion for love, for humanity, for compassion, for empathy, for kindness. And this is how we spiritualize. That's what Neptune is saying. This is the way, the easy way to go, right? Not through Saturn and not through Uranus. It's like Neptune is like, no, come into the ocean and just, right? Surrender. So one individual flowering at a time will change this world. So never underestimate the power of the individual to change the world. And it starts with you, starts with me, and then all of us, right? So it's time to start practicing spiritual hygiene, right? Take control of your energetic space. Take control of your body. Take control of your mind. And these are your tools for this journey. Right? No one has the right to tamper with your divine tools for expanding your consciousness. So this is the choice point that we're in right now. It's a battle for our humanity. And do you value your humanity? Right? I do. Can you imagine a world without humans? Right? So guess what consciousness is going to win? You've heard both sides, and you look out in the world. Which state of consciousness is going to win? What do you think? Like, write your comments below. What do you think? Me personally, I'll always bet on the creativity of humanity. 10 times out of 10. Always. I have faith in the divine, and I have faith in humanity. So let's hold this vision of a better world for everyone with no more parasites. Let them go off, right? Find another energy source. So in future memories, we have past memories, we also have future memories. Well, the light is already won. It's a done deal. But doesn't mean we sit back waiting for a savior, right? To save us all. We still need to play our part. And this means to do our soul purpose. And this is what really gives us joy as a human. It's when we deliver that gift that only you have. And it's buried inside you, ready to come out, right? Especially in this pivotal time in our human history, right? You're born for this. There's a reason why you're born right born and exist in this time and space as we transition. Right? There's something really unique inside you that needs to be delivered. So this is what you're here to deliver. And the ancient texts say, whatever you don't deliver will destroy you. So it really reminds me of Chiron. Right? Chiron went retrograde today. The wounded healer. So speaking of soul purpose, I've been really called to present a 6-hour webinar series just on Chiron, right? That is in the shadow of control right now. And it stays there, retrograde, until December 19th, 2021. So it's going to move through the gift of awakening, veneration, and innocence. And that takes us to 2027 when it moves into Taurus. So I'm very interested in any patterns that end in 2027, right? So Chiron's a big player, and it's the bridge between Uranus and Saturn. And just in my own research so far, it's taking us into the age of Aquarius collectively and individually. So Chiron, personally, for you, can show you where your deepest wounding is, not just by sign and house, but also by gate, right? But this is also your greatest gift. So your deepest wounding is also your greatest gift. The paradox is again, right? So Chiron holds a major piece to your soul purpose. So check that out if you're called, and I'll be using evolutionary astrology, gene keys, human design, and of course Kundalini yoga meditation so we can chant and sing together. So one of my spiritual gifts is farsightedness, the gift of farsightedness. And this is really seeing into the future, recognizing patterns, right? So I'm sure that more will come through as I go deeper into this, because I'm very interested in the future, right? I always have been. So click the link below to register, and I've made it super affordable, so many people can attend. So that's next Sunday, because I really feel called to just move on it. I just want to move on it. I feel inspired by it. And I hope you can make it Sunday, July 25th and August 1st. I'm going to split it up. So if I were to suggest anything, right, for you, is to purify your emotional body. Go right to the root. Purify your emotional body, and that's your inner child. So that's 6 weeks. There's a lot of good information in there, and it gives you tools, right? And this can bring that emotional calm, and then mental calm, and then physical calm, so that you can be fully here. Your spirit can be fully here, right? And you can be present for this amazing time in our human history. Okay, so that's all I have to share. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'll probably do another one on Neptune because there's lots to explore. So please leave your comments below, your thoughts and insights. I love reading them. And please subscribe, like, and share so that these messages don't get shadow banned on YouTube. It helps with the algorithm. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Bitchute, and MeWe. All links below. But better yet, sign up for my free newsletter that I put out once a week. Okay? So have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. And enjoy your life. Put joy into your life. But it's got to be authentic, right? So you got to work through those lower frequency energies. Transcend them into joy. This is our natural emotional state. It's joy. And then send it out, be the contagion for the unified field, right? And put all your trust in Big G right now, who's loving you, supporting you to be your authentic self, and for you to deliver your soul purpose, okay? So I'll see you next video. Sat Nam Aloha.